I won't know until the spring, really, if that was a good decision or a bad decision. This morning, I actually did pull the pans out, and I dumped the grain in these before I fed them to the pigs, and that seemed to work out really well. So I think going forward, that's the way that I'm gonna continue to do it. So we'll start doing some evening chores here. Another thing, speaking of the culprit there, if you saw some of the recent videos, I was having an issue with eggs being eaten out, and I wasn't quite sure if it had to do with one of my chickens or if it was just involving one of my cats, because come on in. Anybody else belong down here? Both of you? Come on. Nope, she knows how to do it. But I was having an issue with broken shells, and somebody was licking the yolk out, and I know the cat was licking the yolk out. But I didn't quite know if she was the one that was actually breaking the shell, or if it was one of the chickens that was pecking it, and then she was just kind of opportunistic and going in there and cleaning up after the chicken. Starting to get some eggs from the breast chickens here. I'm gonna set you down to feed them real quick. Alright, let's see how my skills are with this. Got an egg in my hand, a bucket in my hand, and I'm carrying the camera, being chased by pigs and chickens. Well, pigs aren't really chasing me at the moment, but like I was saying, I was having an issue with somebody was eating my eggs. It was 1 or 2 a day, and still leaving the shells. Usually when the chickens peck them, they'll destroy the whole thing, and there won't be any shell or anything left over either. So I had been feeding my cats at night with this new group of kittens that we got last spring. They hadn't really shown any hunting, not much. They would hunt around the house here, but they wouldn't really go out and go find their own stuff. So last week, I switched it up, and I started feeding them first thing in the morning and letting them eat before the chickens get put out. And the theory was that if they were full in the morning and the chickens were laying during the day, that the cat would not eat the eggs during the day. And then I should be able to come through and collect the eggs before the cat was getting hungry. And then at night, if it was hungry, it would go out and get its own food. So I started noticing that there were little clumps of feathers where there hadn't really been much. So they were starting to hunt. And I I wasn't having issues with the eating eggs anymore. So if you do have barn cats and you are experiencing some that seem to be, if they are eating some of the eggs, maybe switch up how you're feeding them, or feed them a little bit more or whatever. Try to make sure that they're at least not hungry enough to eat your eggs, but hungry to go out and clear off the vermin and whatever else that you might have them for. So I've left Gumbo and Tootsie out here for the last couple days, and they're doing a nice job. They're not tearing up too much, they're just kind of disturbing a little bit. So I won't know until the spring, really, if that was a good decision or a bad decision. But I just felt really bad that they have been in their paddock, which they've got a lot of room to move around, but there's no grass or anything in there. There's no vegetation in there. At least some of the other pigs, even in the relatively bare pasture areas, there's at least still some light forage for them to pick through. So another update is this is actually fresh manure from this morning, and it's already been dried out. I spread it out, but it looks like the chickens have come through and picked through it as well. But I wanted to see how much, if any, grain was in here, and I could only find 1 or 2 little grain husks in here. So, and it could be that that's left over from when I was still feeding them the whole stuff. I'm not 100% sure how long it takes for that all to clear out through their system. So it was 3 days, I think, from the last time that I fed them the stuff that had the whole barley in it. And so now going forward, we should see very little, if any, grain, full kernel grains in the manure. So worst case scenario, the chickens will come through and they'll clean it up anyway. So it's not 100% loss, but I don't want to have like a large percentage of feed that's going to the pigs that they're not digesting. 1 or 2 grains here and there, not a big deal. That can fall out of a bucket here and there anyway. So right now they are enjoying their evening ration of hay, and they seem to be enjoying. They definitely have a lot of energy, and Tootsie's belly is starting to fill in. So like I said, it's only been about a week or so that they've been on this new feed. So she should even fill out more, but that's the first sign you want to see, is a nice full belly. And then the other thing was she was starting to lose a little bit of muscle along her spine here, and so I'm feeling that start to come back in as well. So that's a good sign that she's doing better on this than she was even when I was giving her pellets. She had been on the diet with the pellets and the hay for about a month, and really wasn't putting on a lot of weight. It's definitely cheaper, because as I said in my last video regarding the pigs, I'm feeding about 75% of the dry feed that I was feeding, because I'm soaking it. It's also different consistency, but they're getting more volume total of feed, and they're gaining better as a result. So cheaper for me to feed them, and they're doing better. So That's always a good sign. So anyway, so that's just a quick update, and hope this was helpful. If you like this video, please give us a thumbs up, leave us a comment down in the comment section, and as always, please subscribe, share this video to all your friends and family, whatever, and click the bell notification so that you're notified when we have new content released. Thanks for joining us, and as always, God bless.